Listen, in the papers this week, I was looking to, sometimes when you look for guests, I'm waiting for Dick Gregory to call in. You look for guests and you can't connect with them. And it's all good because in our first segment, that was geared to be shorter, but each minute that this brother was on the line was very edifying, very, very, very satisfying, edifying for me. But there's this article in the Amsterdam News dealing with boys and girls high school. It's an article that should be read and analyzed. And the brother who's the principal at Boys and Girls High School is Brother Bernard Gassaway. Bernard Gassaway was a principal on he's the principal of the school, but he was on WHCR for a minute. He had a program here, and he was part of Harlem 411. And we know Bernard Gassaway as being a conscious individual. So in the article, it talks about Boys and Girls High School being a failing, getting an F. But there's one line in there that gives you the key to why. Brother Dick Gregory.
God bless you, my brother.
God bless you. I want to thank you. Just hold on 1 second while I finish this point with our great audience. This is an article out of the Amsterdam News, ladies and gentlemen. It's on page 3, and it talks about Boys and Girls High School fights for survival. Now, a key point in this article is that Boys and Girls High School has been given an F for failing in these various areas that these so-called individuals in the Board of Education have set up for whether you're doing well or not. But the key thing in this article is that the principal of the school has been open to taking every student in who has been rejected by other schools, and that's some 1,800 of castaways. I call them castaways and push-outs. And Bernard Gassaway, without my speaking with him, has a belief in our people. He believes, based on my conversations with him 3 or 4 years ago, he believes that each and every one of us has talent and ability and in the right environment can learn. But when you're dealing with high school students who do not know how to read and write and are at a 3rd and 4th grade level, that takes resources. And Boys and Girls High School has not gotten the resources that would enable Bernard Gassaway and the conscious teachers at Boys and Girls High School to teach these children properly and bring them up to a so-called passing grade. So that's the real story about Boys and Girls High School. And until we can speak to some brothers and sisters over in Brooklyn who can give us a definitive critique on what has happened and why they want to shut down Boys and Girls High School, suffice it to say, get the Amsterdam News article, read it. It's on page 3. Brother Dick Gregory, thank you, and God bless you and your family.
God bless you. Thank you. I'm glad I got to hear what you were saying about the article. First, in New York City, y'all spend, what, $22,000 per pupil?
Yeah, it's in the billions in terms of their budget.
Yeah, but I mean, first understand about school budgets. 98% of all school budgets go to the physical plant, okay?
Go ahead.
Not to the students, school teachers, janitors, custodians, bricks and mortar. 98% of the budget go for that. Do you realize if your mother, when you was a little boy, had a food budget, and 98% of it went for stuff other than food?
Yeah.
Now, if y'all have what do y'all call reform schools where they send children to?
I'm sorry, the charter schools? Is that what you...
No. The jail system, the reform schools.
Oh, yeah. Right.
$200,000 a year per person. Did you know that? In New York. $200,000 a year per. So you beat the dead horse. It's stood up to fail. The people who they expect to make it, they're not looking at them.
Right.
They're looking at a reason for you. Have you noticed something strange has happened this year? That most of your major cities in America, homicides had decreased to almost a 10 to 20-year low? Huh? So you say, well, wait a minute, hold it. Why? Shows like this where people can come and talk about the chemicals, what they spraying in the air, chemtrails, and they got to react about it and say, oh, they ain't nothing but lying.
Yeah.
They ain't telling you the truth. How can that happen all at once? 1 year. 1 year, that whole homicide rate. What are you doing? And then, you see, if I had the job of coming to New York to deal with the young folks there, I'd say this. First, let's test their brains and see what chemicals have caused. See what genetically engineered food have caused. Okay? See what these shots that they're giving folks have caused. You know something I didn't know? I'm negotiating a contract now, multi-million-dollar contract. And they're talking about the wheat, the problem with the wheat that a lot of people can't eat wheat.
The gluten, is that what it is?
The gluten.
Yeah.
So I said to the guy, I'm with the #1 gluten specialist in the world, right? And I said, look, let's have a meeting in the bar, because I know these white boys want to drink somewhere. If they get with the health guru and they want to eat Kool-Aid and unsweetened this, let their mind go off. And then let's go over here and meet me at the bar. And then we'll say, so little by little, well, you take a beer. Oh, you take a beer. And then I said, well, let me just ask you something. I said, look, you're the #1 specialist. I know you are because I met with my man and he brought me the documents, right? I said, but do you know every time you lick a stamp or lick an envelope, you know, that's gluten? And a good friend of mine told me long before that. I'm not going to call no names now. I knew that long time ago. That's when I lick stamps, I wet the back of my hand. How long do you think it takes acid poison to go through the back of your hand and get to your heart?
I love it.
and so the next thing, I asked him to research for me, you know, one of the big sellers. And if you wanted to invest in something, you know, I would invest in a teeth glue, you know, that hold the false teeth in.
Yeah.
Because every day, they talk about how many Mexicans, every day, 50,000 Mexicans turn 18. Do you know how many old folks turn old every month? Now, here's what I'm saying that. Is it gluten? Since we got gluten in the glue, huh? Is it gluten in the teeth glue?
Right.
Okay, so what is happening when these old folks and you go into the doctor and the doctor can't find nothing? Okay, and so again, I'm saying what we have to do is say first, let's take me and you. We in grade school, just having fun, you know, just kicking back. School's fun, you know, going to school and enjoying myself. But my feet got froze, right? And I had to stay out of school 2 years, right? 2 years. Give me 2 years. And now I come back, I'm 2 years behind. Let's say you had the flu, right? And you stayed out of school 2 weeks. School don't stop because you out, huh?
Right.
So it comes back, and the little girl over there, I'm looking at, you looking at her, I'm looking at her. You know how silly we was when we was in school. You know, Richard loved Mary, man. She don't even know it. We be joning with dudes over women that they ain't never told. The girl don't even know they like them. You know, and they say, yeah, that's Richard's girl. Like we used to stand on the bridge. Remember, I'm 80 now, and when cars pass by, if it's silent, we pick the car.
That's right.
That's my car. That's my car.
That's
my
right.
Car.
Exactly.
That's the silliness, but that's the child play, okay? And so now I come into school, and they got a little spelling test go on. You know, that's when teachers just sit back and take a little break in the school, and so a spelling hospital, right? And I count down, and so Richard Gregory's coming up next, right? And so when she gets to me, I'm sweating because I don't want you, who kind of like the same girl I like,
right,
and the girl to know I can't spell hospital, okay? So I stand up before they call on me and call the teacher a little black, nappy head, blop, 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 every dirty word. Why? Because I'd rather for the whole world to know what I just called a teacher than for the whole world to know I can't spell hospital. Okay? Okay? You hear me? And now, we don't have the type of people in there now. We got people, all they did was go to be teachers. Go to be teachers. Go to be teachers. And know nothing about the human body. How has education been affected since television? Huh? When I was born, we had radios. Can you imagine we were so ignorant we listened to tap dancers on the radio, man? My mama said, Richard, did you, boy? They sure can dance. Come on, dear, come on. And so all at once now, there's a new piece of thing out here. When I was a boy, I come by your house, and your mother be cooking. All the girls in the kitchen helping mom cook. I go to my house, all the girls in the kitchen helping mom cook. I make big money, go all over the world, go to the best restaurants in the world, and I don't see nothing but men cooks. When did they learn how to cook? Huh? And so that whole thing of, that's why that Supreme Court case, it don't make no difference how the Supreme Court vote on gay marriages, because in 10 years, all them old folks will be dead. Huh? Not on the Supreme Court, the old folks that's against it. When you sit and look at young folks, they ain't got nothing to do with homosexuality. They don't see nothing wrong with it. Their friends is homosexuals, is this, their friends is this here. And eventually, all of that is going to end, whether they like it or not. And so what we need to do when we talk about how do you think countries that California make more money than the whole country and they head above us in education? So, you see, if you're serious, how do we get people in outer space? Because we didn't go to just school teachers. We didn't go to the science professor. We went around the world and brought the best teachers, chemists in the world. Even took a country that was our enemy and brought them in
That's right.
to help us with the spacecraft, okay? and then the only reason we made it like we did was anti-Semitism. The Germans hated Einstein so bad because the Germans, most folks don't know, if you want to find the leaders in Christianity, research, go to Germany, okay? And if you want to find the leaders in all that type of scientists and stuff, go to Germany. So this guy was the biggest thing there. And then Einstein came, this little upstart punk, right? I said, no, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And so when it started catching on, he turned it into an anti-Semitism. He said, that's a conspiracy. And it got so bad for Einstein, man, he had to leave the country and come here. Otherwise, you know, tell me what the Germans would have done in that last war. And so consequently, what we're looking at now is, especially minorities, and see, you can't compare black folks to Mexicans. Mexicans ain't never been slaves, huh?
Go ahead.
I was a slave. I until someone come and teach me how to flush this out of me. Huh? My great-great-great-grandmother, before slavery, she was gorgeous. After slavery, getting raped by the white man, getting raped, and then she started looking different, and looking different, and looking different, and I noticed, she looked a little bit like the slave master's wife, so then I started thinking what I look like is bad. Okay, that's in us. That's in, what role do Hollywood play? Look, if you was the biggest minister in New York, right, you came to me and said, oh, Greg, I got a problem, man, with these young folks. Huh? You mean you can't get as many young folks as a drug addict talking about your Christianity? You can't get as many folks as, you know, look at the Muslims, the Nation of Islam. I said, they stand on the corner, they immaculate, they ain't got no bumps on their face, huh? and they don't do drugs. Well, wait a minute. See, I think it's great if my child don't do drugs, but they drink all day long. They go to parties, cocktail parties. The Muslims, they don't do drugs, they don't do alcohol, they don't do cigarettes, they don't get stuff. My grandmother, man, was the biggest hallelujah. She the only time she couldn't holler hallelujah and praise Lord, her mouth full of snuff. She had to spit it out. They didn't know you get high. Now we know young children that's doing that. They get their tongue cut out.
Right.
You know, cancer or this and that. And so I'm saying this to say this here. So now if you said to me, say, Dick, I need you to to the young. See, you got to talk about attention span. Everybody remember I'm talking about God this and God that. God don't see your problems. God see your faith. Huh? Not your conditions, your faith. I know I can do this. I know. Did you know Nelson Rockefeller could not read or write? Did you know that?
No.
Huh? Did you hear me? David Rockefeller, one of the big greatest men, cannot read or write. Now, they don't call it, can't read, they call it dyslexic. Dyslexic. There's a white dude in New Jersey. I got to put y'all together. He makes millions of dollars with all the rich white folks.
Yeah.
All over the world that send they no reading, no writing children.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know what he do? He put them on the floor on a large mat. These are grown folks, and let them crawl. Huh? Because when you crawl and when children no longer are on the floor, on the ground, what God gave them, they in cribs. They can't crawl and that mess up the equilibrium. It mess up the equilibrium. Huh? And that's all he do, is just have them crawling and bring that equilibrium back. That's what that's about. Okay? And so till we bring scientists in that can say, here's the reason here, here's the reason here, and then change the whole school system. I tell them at a conference, I said, in 20 years, 30 years from now, there won't be no schools. And that's an awful thing y'all doing. You see, still teaching them to be educated. Educate what? So what is going to take place? I said, you do it at home. Huh? When Muhammad Ali was fighting, you had pay-per-view,
pay-per-view, yeah.
And they make it, okay, that's what's going to happen with education.
Wow.
If you're the best scientist for 14, 15, or 12, or 9 and 10, can't nobody hire you but private schools, okay? All right? Now I can turn on TV, and now you're a math teacher. You got 4 million children looking at you every day for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay? And you get a quarter per. Huh?
Yeah.
So now the athletes and entertainers won't be heroes, huh? Now the thing about that is that you don't get paid if I don't pass that test. Huh? If I take my car to you and you the mechanic and you can't fix it, you ain't getting my money. So I didn't send my child to school, to take a whole lot of tests that they can fail. I sent them there. I knew they couldn't read. I knew they couldn't spell. I knew they didn't know math. I sent you there. I know my car don't work. And you tell me what's wrong with it, how much it'll cost. Now, here's the secret. Everybody listening to your show today,
yes, sir.
I don't care how old, how young, how many pills they take and have. We can all leave New York tomorrow morning and walk to California. I'm talking about grandma, grandpa. The secret is we got to walk at your own pace. Huh? Your own pace.
Okay.
Okay? Now, education is the same way. I got to do it. That's why super rich folks never send their children to school with nobody else. That's why Michael Jackson was so here. He wasn't born to be that. He got so big, he's a superstar. So what he got? He got private tutors, right?
Right.
So he's not in a classroom racing against the brain. Huh? He's not in the classroom where your mother and father, they went all over the world. They multi-millionaires, and he didn't have daddy nowhere. Mama was a drunk and all that. So how can I sit in the classroom with you? I'm sitting at home, and I'm doing it at my own pace. I don't know if I told you, one of my sons told me, he said, Dad, let me tell you, they brought him to South Africa and wanted him to take over the whole educational system. Okay, let me tell you how hip he is. He said, no, I can't do that because the best schools in South Africa is private schools, which is 99.9% white folks. I'm not about to have my 2 children, my 2 boys, over here in a school where black folks is in the majority, but they can't see that in school. Huh? I would not do that to them, right? And so when you sit and you at your own pace, now that was Michael. All right, Michael, if you Michael's tutor, man, you can't fail him. You can't flunk him. Okay? You lose your job. So now you got to sit there and do this and do that, and then all at once I feel good because I feel myself growing. You see, the same shoes I wore when I was 8 years old, I can't wear now. Huh? I cannot wear now.
Yeah. And
so consequently, if you go back to your minister, you say, Greg, Here's something I don't understand. We know Muslims, Nation of Islam. We know they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do this, they don't do that. But yet, we as black folks will never bring them to the church. Not for $10,000 like they deserve to get for free. Huh? Because white folks have told us to be scared of them. We're more scared of them than we are the drug pushers. We've never seen a Muslim stand on the corner with a bow tie and shit pushing drugs. But we scared of them. Huh? But not the dope pushing. Okay? And so consequently, what is it about me that would bring in a white dude who had conquered drugs in Appalachia? Huh? But I wouldn't bring in a Muslim who's my cousin, who's my niece, who's my nephew, huh? And you know she is the reason you know they're not doing it. Because the way they hate it in America, they would bust them every day and show them on TV. Oh, that's it. Or slip in a bar and show them drinking, show them doing this here, okay? And so now here's what we do. We sit, going back to your church, right? You Reverend Gully. That's the largest church in that kind of, what they call them, mega churches.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You know what a mega church costs to build, man? About $50-60 million.
Wow.
And I keep asking, where did them black preachers? Most of them ain't been to school. They don't have to. Reverend Gully was my man. He taught us everything. He never been to school. What bank is going to loan Reverend Gully? $no dollar, huh? $50-60 million when General Motors couldn't get a loan. So then we got this. Where is that money coming from? Where is that money coming from? And so I'm saying this. So here's my job. You're not getting young folks, okay? I said, here's what you do. Go out and get you a rap band. Don't say y'all ain't got no bands in the church, right? Go get you a rap band. Not no hip, no world renowned, just a rapper. And let them rap the Holy Bible. Did you hear me? These little youngsters, man, they can't read or write. They listen to the rap and that music, and in 3 days, they singing the whole song.
That's right.
Word for word.
That's right.
Word for word. And so first, you got to make it exciting to me because you're violating God. Reading and writing is a violation of the universe. It's ungodly. It's unspiritual. Why? How do I know that? When I get off the plane in Tokyo, I can't read a Japanese paper. The universal God ain't never made nothing that changed when you cross a border. Okay? Because before we come in with the mess, there was no such thing as borders. It was called Earth. It wasn't no Africa or St. Louis or New York or Chicago. And one day, the reason they can't admit unidentified flying objects, they can't admit that. Why? Because if we admit that, we got to be Earth people. Huh? Organized religion would go out the window. Huh? There wouldn't be no such thing as New York, Chicago. Why? They say Martins, right? Martins.
Yeah.
Little big green people, Martins, okay? And so what I'm saying is when that, now if we took the natural, when you drive a car, every hour your brain processes 10 billion bits of information. Why do you think rich white folks don't drive? Huh? Why do you think they got to do? Can you imagine, man, me and you work at General Motors, and at General Motors we got 30,000 people on our shift, and all of them done drove through all the traffic. You know how tired they are when they get to work? That's why your car ain't no good. They're tired when they get there. And so we're supposed to be in bed 90 minutes after the sun go down. Okay? 90 minutes after go back to day one. There were no lights, right? You had to do everything. That's why they call it. Exactly. That's why they call it moonshine. They waited till a full moon and they go way back out in the forest,
right?
And do the whistling. So what I'm saying is here, somewhere, when you take back now if you're not in bed midnight, you turn into a pumpkin. You heard that, right?
Right.
What part of your body do a pumpkin look like?
The head.
Okay, now watch this here. When you go to bed tonight, 90 minutes after the sun go down, let's just take your finger and put it in the center of your head and press it. You feel that? At 90 minutes single, that's what happens to your head. Your brain gets recharged, huh?
Go ahead.
At midnight, that charge stops. So all the sleep you get after midnight don't count. That's why when my son went to Phillips Academy, and when I was moved about from Massachusetts, Massachusetts public schools was better than most private schools in the country. And so they told me, they said, well, Dick, I know how you feel about, but let me just tell you something. If your son don't go to Phillips Academy and get out of school, his brain will be damaged, okay? So I said, okay.
If your son doesn't
go to Phillips Academy, at that time, Phillips Academy had produced 12 presidents, okay? Now it's 14 because George Bush in there. Had I known that, I wouldn't have let him go there.
But they said if he didn't go, his brain
would be damaged.
By going to another institution.
No, going to that school he's in, public school. It's good.
Okay, right. Okay.
He won the science affair. That's when Massachusetts was kicking all over the world.
Right.
And the teacher just let him in because he's in grade school, right? You have to be in high school. And just to let him in so he can exercise his brain. Right?
Hold your point right there while we identify ourselves. This is the Communicators. I'm Brother Leroy. Our guest online is Brother Dick Gregory, and the station you're listening to is
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Go ahead, my brother.
So he comes back, and they said, well, and he's the buzz. Here's what he did now. He took some seeds, okay, and got him shoe boxes. Put dirt in them, right?
Yeah. And
he planted the seeds. But unbeknown to the teacher, one of the boxes he brought home and put in the closet. And every day they give a progress on the seeds in the school life, right?
Yeah.
And after it was all over, he brought the box. He's like 8 years old from home. And that little wizard up thing, man, scared people in the class. And he said, I just want to show you what happened to Negroes when you put me in a closet and don't let me get sunlight, and don't let me get water. I did the same thing at the beginning to all of that. This is us, okay? And so I don't care how many degrees we got and all of that. This is us, okay? So now they said, wow, Jesus. So then they said, well, we'll change the law. See, I never went to none of my children's graduations. I never went to it. I don't care what y'all think. You raise your children like you want to. I never went to none of it. I didn't help them with their homework. That was their mother's job. Now, that's not a sexist thing. That's their mother's job. They go play basketball. I don't see none of that. All the little old, what they call them things where they be up with them ballerinas and they, everybody run over. And I'm like, your daughter look good. They got her dressed up with lipstick and wigs and stuff on.
Yeah.
I never went to that. And I told my wife I would never sign off on their report card. I don't even want to see it, right? And then 2 years later, she said, wow, I just found out today what you was doing. I said, what do you mean? She said, today is the first day them teachers over there recognized me as Miss Gregory and not Dick Gregory's wife. It dawned on them they would never see you. And it dawned on them they would never see this black celebrity.
Oh.
When it dawned on them, they couldn't ask your children, your daddy help you? No. Your daddy help you? Nope. Then they realized you the power in that house. You the power, not me. And so now they say to me, they say, well, here's what they want. They need to change the law so a grade schooler can go to the national, okay? And we need him to represent the national science thing. I said, I'm not signing nothing. I don't need a bunch of white folks that wouldn't give me the time of the day and some slick black folks that's scared to validate that boy's knowledge. I live with him. I know he's smart. I just listen to what he talks, right? So then all at once they said, well, we have to have that, and both y'all have to sign, and then we can give him the right to go out to Arizona where. So he came to me. First, he came to me, man, about a year before, 2 years after. I see him with a shirt and a tie on. What you doing with a shirt and a tie on? I'm going to school. What are you dressing up? I get the perfect attendance award. I said, no, you not. So I asked Bill, I said, how long these children getting perfect attendance award? He says, well, ever since we've been here. I said, wait a minute, have you ever read anything in the paper where a person became famous or helped society because they went to school every day in class? One of the things about a person could finish the war, when you get to the point you can win it, you send that child to school with the flu. Huh? You send that child to school with a mask on headache because you racing for this. I said, no, okay, wait, no, don't go, man. Just stay. Come on, go with me. I canceled a little trip I had. So now I asked him when he come to me, and he said, Dad, what do you think? You think I should go? I said, when is it? He said, June the 26th. I said, well, what do you have to do if you wasn't going there? I got a soccer game. I said, go to a soccer game, son. Go to a soccer game. We got to stop being validated by a system that don't like us. Huh? That's the one thing. Just go to a soccer game and enjoy yourself. And you play basketball. I guarantee you, I'll come to your basketball game. So when I go to the first basketball game, I got shocked, man. Not only did my kids, all them white children don't stand up no more for, the America the Beautiful, Pledge of Allegiance. I didn't know that. I looked there, the soccer wasn't that my children wasn't standing. An old lady wasn't standing. Man, but you couldn't get them there. She would be the only people in the neighborhood have a flag. Now, if you want to have some fun, next 4th of July, go to the hall and see how many flags you see.
Right.
Okay?
Dick, I want to stop you there because we're going to run out of time before we can talk to you about current events, and everything you've talked about relates to current events.
Yes.
Things in the news, but also the movie The Flight. And whatever else you may have been talking about. I know in the last month, the Petraeus so-called scandal was on the radar. So we have 20 minutes.
Okay, well, let me first say this here. Don't mess with the queen. Okay, I don't know what went on with that girl they found dead, but something happened in that room that was more than what they told us. I've been around a mother. I had a mother. Now, a mother might go off on the deep end and kill herself, but she'll kill her 2 children, too. Huh? She's not going to kill herself and don't know how them children going to be taken care of. Okay?
Now, which story?
The nurse they found dead over there at the hospital where the future queen came.
Wow.
Was in the hospital the other day from morning sickness. And I was telling one of my sons, I said, that's one of the best hospitals in the world. Let me tell you what morning sickness is. The 9 months you in your mother's womb, all you have to drink is her urine. That's all you have. That's your dinner. And when she don't drink enough water, she kick you. You don't drink enough water, she kick you. Okay? They call that morning sickness. That's the baby saying, give me something to eat. That's all I got is what your urine is. They don't know that. So they got her in the hospital, or maybe she wasn't there for that. Huh? And then all at once, the girl comes up there. Huh? Not in her house, in a place down the street. Huh? So all I'm saying, I'm just saying, don't mess with the queen. The other thing, then we get into the movies. The other thing is that when you think about if you and your wife had graduated from college, your children's vocabulary would be 5,000 words. If you and your wife had graduated from high school, their vocabulary would be 1,500 words.
Go ahead.
Okay? If you and your had not finished high school, your children's vocabulary would be 500 words. Well, all you got to do is get some rap music and play the same type of vocabulary that your children would hear if both of y'all had finished college, and they'll pick it up. That's what they get. Okay, now the other thing is, when you sit and you look at the movies, first, movies is an extension of white supremacy. That's not what it was made for. It was made for sex. These old men trying to get these young girls. They come to Hollywood. And then when they saw the power I can use with white supremacy, then it changed and new people came in. Metro Golden Man, those were Jews, man, and a Jew couldn't even play a leading man in a Jewish company, huh? You couldn't use nobody ugly as a leading man. They had to be nice looking, man, and certain heights and all of that. So all my life I went to the movie. And I went to the movie, man, and this black thing, this Negro thing had messed me up so bad I'd come home, man, being whoever I saw in the movie. And I feel so bad because I felt like I looked like him and act like him. I'd walk through the alley, man, so people wouldn't see me, this little black, skinny, nappy-head child, right? And so one day, did you see the movie Gone with the Wind with Clark Gable?
Yes, yeah.
Now, you heard the word tall, dark, and handsome.
Right.
You never heard them apply that to Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte.
No.
Right? It's white boys. It's white men who they know were black. That's what that is. Tall, dark, and handsome. Come on now. Huh? What do it mean? Rudolph Valentino, tall, dark, and handsome. They knew where they came from. Okay? So I'm looking at Gone with the Wind. Clark Gable. Nice looking. You know, what we say, nice looking.
Yeah.
Had that curly black hair.
Yeah.
And he said he's talking to his lady, and he flipped his head backward and forward, and that curly lock fell down his face, and he flipped it back and said, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." Man, I damn near broke my neck trying to flip a nap back. I'm trying to be, and then, not then, but now, I know why I made it. See, life is nothing but a movie. That's where the movie. See, your son or daughter's born with the intelligence to put something together. That's already been here. Life is a movie. The thing is, we don't write our own script. Okay?
Right.
We don't write our own script. So if a white racist thing dogs me, don't make that the top of my movie. Give it a bit part. Can't write it out, huh? I was saying to my daughter the other day, her daughter. I said, if your daddy raped you, I said, oh no, that's me. I'm your daddy. Oh, let me rework this. But those of you all who've been raped by your father, those of you all boys who've been raped by different folks, when you make that the biggest thing in your movie, you can't win. It got to be, you can't write it out. My daddy raped me. That's real, but make it a bit part. Way down at the bottom of the screen. You can't hardly see it. And just go on up there and let your movie run. So coming from the movie, I would dream, man. I would dream. I'd go to the opera. Why'd I go? I didn't understand what I was saying, but I know the people. My mother worked for richest folks in St. Louis. They don't know about no blues or listening to no jazz. They listen to opera, okay? And all over the world, and folks they listen to opera. Now, they do a whole lot of other perverted stuff. And so, consequently, when I go to the movie, either you'll call me or I'll call you and say, man, go back and look at this here, because we don't want to give the plot. So when you said Flight, I looked at it, and then the question came up, why was Flight released the week before the election? Huh? That's the first thing. Two, to be a black entertainer or a black athlete, you become a celebrity. Huh? To be a black doctor, you become a celebrity. But most folks don't know you. Okay? Boy, doctors ain't no damn celebrities, man. To be a captain, or airline captain, like Denzel was, you're a celebrity in the black community. Man, nobody give a airline captain the time of the day. That's a bad job. So now take your black celebrities, not famous people. Just your black celebrities. There's something in the pit of the skull that they want a cheap, uneducated, thuggish white woman. That's in the pit of their skull. Why? Because all our life we've been hearing, man, if you really want some good freaky, get a white woman. And we've always heard that. We might not admit it. Because in my educational church thing, that wasn't part of my protocol. That wasn't part of my protocol. So when I go into the cathedral, just take a picture of the Sistine Chapel. You see them goblins. You see them men with them wings. And right hanging down from them, you see them little white boys with no clothes on. Not girls. White boys. With angel wings on. So pedophilia is part of that stuff. We didn't see it because that's not in our sphere of thinking. Okay? But you go. Don't take my word. Go. Go and look at them boys with the wings. No girls. Wait a minute. You mean I can't see no girls floating around with wings on with no diapers on, and the whole game. And so consequently, what happened is that thing. Now, I want you to hear this real good. The Russian mafia, not out of Moscow, out of Georgia, they have a whole industry where they train white women to come over here and sign black athletes and black entertainers. Now, let me tell you what's wrong with a black athlete. I was a world-class athlete. I was the third fastest half miler in the nation. When I left high school, I set the world's record in high school mile. I didn't get credit for it because I was at the all-Negro meet. And I've gone as far as you can go in entertainment. Okay? And so I can tell you about entertainers and athletes. We're the only people in the world that say, oh, I love this so much. If I couldn't get paid, I'd do it for free. You ever heard a garbage collector say that? You ever heard a trash? You ever heard a cop say, oh, God, if I couldn't get paid, I'd do it for free? Okay? Now, when I hit big, I heard the word Joe Glazier, biggest agent in the world, going out there and break a leg. And I stopped and said, tell your mama to break her leg. Huh? It didn't sound right. I know all over the world, Frank Sinatra, all the big ones say, break a leg. But break a leg, man, I'm from the ghetto, break a leg, not me. And I looked up and found out what it meant. In the early days of this whole culture thing, came out of Budapest, ballerinas. That was the highest thing you can become. That in medicine. Okay? Women couldn't get in medicine. So if your daughter was the number one ballerina and my daughter was her understudy, right? How can my daughter ever come out there on the stage unless your daughter do what?
Break a leg.
Her leg. You understand? That's how stupid we are in the entertainment. We just think, oh, my God. Oh. And so consequently, when you start looking, so now you got these folks in Georgia that train.
The Georgia is that part of Soviet Union. Well, they call it Georgia is a separate country now.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now look at the Russian mafia. They control Miami. Okay? Now you think the CIA and the FBI and these powerful white folk gonna let them control unless they doing something they want them to do? Don Cornelius, the woman he was married to, was Russian. You know that. He was killed, not dead, because the neighbors said, we heard something like a squabble. We heard some noise over there. Now, who showed up? The first one showed up was a black captain. When do captains show up at homicide?
Right.
And then she gets on TV and says, I was really eerie. I was one of the Soul Train's first dancers. Oh? Oh, no, he dead. There's a will. Only 2 states in America do not permit the will to be paid off if you committed suicide. California is one of them. But you have to have it 2 years. He'd had that thing 2 years, and 2 weeks later, he dead of suicide. I talked to George O'Hare, used to be one of the high-ranking officials in Sears and Roebuck, and he said, I talked to him 2 days ago. He sounded up in spirit. He didn't sound like he was, Now, here's what they do. They move the woman in on you. Then the mother moves in, And then all at once, you come up dead. Flip Wilson, he hit on this masseuse. Then she moved into a house he's paying for. Now listen to this good, man. She left his house, was driving high as a kite, hit the back of a car and killed somebody, right? So they, get to search in the car and find these cocaine, right? And so they arrest her, and then they trace it back to Flip, not because he had done it, because the car was in his name, huh? So he gets one of the best lawyers to defend her. And so she ended up having charges dropped and get charged for something else. So she do like 18 months in the federal pen. So Flip was trying to get in touch with her, right? So he called his, who can I get? Oh, his number one researcher. The guy said, no, she's not in jail, Flip. What do you mean? I know she's in jail. I paid for the case. Flip, she's not in jail. Okay? They never found a record where she was in jail. So that's why you know that government and this government works together. Stiff had 4 boys. Okay, 4 boys. One of them got hurt in an automobile accident. He's on a motorcycle, paralyzed from his neck down. It costs $100,000 a month to take care of him. When they finally find the will, first, the accountant, which nobody knew about, he got $5 million in the will. Mm-hmm. The woman, she got, I think, $500,000. The boys got a flat $100,000, and they ain't found the other $14 million.
This is $44 million. This is Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson, yeah, and Tommy up. This is the game they play. So when you go back to the movie was about 3 things: how the airlines, how big money folks play off and pass the blame to somebody else. Okay? 2, if you look at that white girl, when they kept showing her hands, showing her knuckles,
the tattoos,
tattoos, and then what is in a movie where you would come out to me in the parking lot? That's where he was, parking lot, and tell, just excited over, she just got this job working for a fast food place that's below the fast food places we know. Now, what is that doing in the movie? It's showing how cheap she is in the whole game. Now, you got black men that marry PhD white women. Marry white women that's head of this and head of that, but they not athletes or entertainers. There's something about that whole thing. And that's what that movie was. Because when you saw her, you saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
When you saw her out there on them steps sneaking the smoke, right?
Right.
He went out there to sneak the smoke. I mean, they ain't had nothing in common except she was a cheap, hillbilly white woman. And he fell in love with her. And that one remark she made out the clear blue sky, all you like to do is this and that, that goes back the first time I said, oh, my God. You remember when that, and everybody in the movie was shocked.
Right.
Because it just come out of nowhere. All you want to do is this and get high, okay? And so consequently, I sit there and I say, wow, man, wow, did you see what, I'm talking to myself, ain't nobody but me and me. God, did you see what they just did? The guy asked me, said, you all right, Mr. Gregory? I said, well, I just had me a little vegetarian rum. So that's what the movie is about. And once you start looking past the movie and start seeing things, then the whole thing changes. And so, there's something about I don't feel comfortable about that guy that got killed in the subway. I mean, I'm looking at it, and I didn't look at it until people from New York started calling me. And said, hey, man, there's something late. And I started looking at it. And I said, wow, give me a break. And so when the Queen thing, I didn't pay that much attention to. So I look at the headlines of the New York Post. I read the New York Post before I read the New York Times, because both of them be lying, but the New York Times lie with dignity. Because the New York Post don't care if you like what they said or not, right? And so I'm looking at it, I'm paying attention, so I started getting calls, and I go back and I start reading it. Like I couldn't wait till the Sunday papers come out today to read about the little nurse over there who they found dead, because now they got time to catch up and look at it and say, oh, it's more to it than what they're telling us. So I got my man over there checking it out.
Dick, hold on. We're going to take one call.
Okay.
God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the Black Air.
Yes, thank you very much. How you doing, brothers?
Black as ever, and yourself.
Peace and
great. Okay. Hey, look, real quick, I want to know, Brother Dick, opinion on these 2 things. The storm that happened over here in New York, because it happened last year, right after New York passed the gay marriage bill, and this year, after the president agreed with it, the same thing happened. And I think it's one. But now, can you please give me your opinion on that, and also the football player of the Kansas City Chiefs tragedy, please?
Okay.
Well, let me do this. What was his first question? I didn't hear.
No, your assessment on the storm that hit Sandy.
Oh, okay,
at the time that it hit, and last year he said a similar storm hit after they approved the gay marriage, and this year it hits after the president signed off on. I'm paraphrasing what he said, and then he the last one you did hear, I think. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, first, if you sit and you look at the storm, and then you look at what happened with the storm, all hurricanes start, not almost all, at the same ship place in West Africa where the slaves was put on the ship. It follows the same path on the water that the slave ship followed. No slave was offloaded the ship until it got to the Caribbean. No hurricane jumps above water until they get to the Caribbean. It will come all the way up this east coast, all the way to Maine. Canada is right across the street from Maine. Canada's never had a hurricane because Canada never treated a black woman like America have. That's why they call it her. The only time they started naming it after boys is the women's movement, who didn't know the occult. The women's movement said, how come you name something this terrible after just women? So that's why they alternate. Hurricane is the spirit of the black woman. When it gets up there next to Canada, it turns north and go out to the sea. This one, the one you talking about, it started in the Atlantic Ocean right there by Barbados. Not Barbados.
Bermuda?
Bermuda, yeah.
Go ahead.
So that wasn't a hurricane. That's manipulated. See, we didn't know how to modify the weather until Tesla in New York. Tesla found out some things that he was in his hotel room, his apartment in Manhattan, and created an earthquake, and that's when the government came. They've been creating that kind of stuff ever since. So that's what you feel in there. Why they did it, I haven't even gotten into that yet. I just know that wasn't real. Two, they was getting ready to overthrow. That's what General Petraeus was about. They busted them in May. The Russians sent information saying there's going to be a takeover. Putin killed all of them, which means Putin and the generals was in on it. The only black brother, as of now, that I know was in on it was the one that handled the African death.
Yes.
So he was stripped of all his power.
Africa.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was part of it. The highest ranking Navy was Admiral, I can't think of his name, but they went and busted him on the ship in the Indian Ocean. Now, here's the problem. Why? Obama found out about the day of the first debate, and he was so messed up there to give him a shot. That's what was wrong with him on that first debate. Here's the problem. You cannot go public with this. If the brother that called me is a trillionaire and he got big investments in America, once you find that out, you swoop the money out. The first time this happened that we know of was with Roosevelt. They was going to kill him and overthrow the government. That was the white business interest because he's taking the country the wrong way. They said, well, what are we going to get into? We got some folk going to hit him when he go to Miami at an outdoor rally. They shot at him, but they missed and hit McCormick, who was the mayor of Chicago. They couldn't talk about it. They went and busted all of them. So you're going to see a whole lot of bus coming out of that. So there's so much stuff going on and going on and going on. And I think it might be dedicated to 2012. You see, the calendar misquoted. It's not 2012. It's 2013.
We got one minute.
It's 2013. So what you hear, you're looking at it, and I think it was going to be a worldwide military takeover to say we got to manage this crisis that's about to happen. That's what I think it is. And to the brother, that's
all right.
That's how
well, he asked for one thing, he got another, brother. So, Brother Dick Gregory, I want to thank you very much and thank your wife for facilitating this interview. We look forward to speaking with you again very soon. May God continue to bless you and your family, brother.
My pleasure, brother. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Thank you for being my friend, man.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your support of WHCR 90.3 on the FM dial. Please support the holiday party that's coming up, and we play that for you before Stephanie comes on. Stephanie, she didn't know that I knew, but Steve Smith is going to be her guest. He's going to be. She didn't want me to reveal it. That's going to be the first call she gets in. Steve Smith, hey, this is the only black sports show with a sister. She got connections all over, boy. I thought, see, if the Knick game was at noon, she wouldn't be in here right now. But she's okay. All right. I'm gone. Support the party. Peace.
It's WHCR's annual holiday party fundraiser on Friday, December 21st. Party time is 6 p.m. with some of WHCR's hottest DJs who will keep you dancing to some of the best house music in New York City. WHCR's annual after-work holiday party fundraiser will be held at Image Nation